They said humanity was too fragile, too young, too chaotic to matter among the stars. An empire older than our species, stretching across 1,000 suns, dismissed us as nothing more than a cosmic accident. But they underestimated one thing. Not our technology, not our armies, but the power of a single human mind. This is the story of how one person outwitted an empire built on stars. The Archean Empire had ruled the galaxy for 60,000 years. It was a civilization so vast, its fleets could darken entire skies. Its archives contained the birth cries of dying stars, and its rulers believed themselves eternal. To them, Earth was a footnote, a quiet green world orbiting an unremarkable star, too primitive to pose a threat, too stubborn to be useful. We were granted observer status, nothing more. Children with sharp stones, they called us. But the Archeans miscalculated. They assumed dominance was eternal. They assumed no human could ever stand in their way. That assumption ended with Commander Elara Vey. Elara had never been born into privilege. She was a linguist turned strategist, an outsider even among humans. When the Archeans annexed the human colony of Lyran IV and imposed their infamous silence doctrine, erasing local culture, forbidding human speech in public and forcing assimilation, Elara was chosen to negotiate. She walked into the Senate of 1,000 alien species, alone, no weapons, no armies behind her, just her voice. The Archean Senate was a cathedral carved from the shell of a dead moon, filled with echoing light and sound. Voices layered in hundreds of languages created an overwhelming hum, each representative amplified by the Empire's machines. When Elara stepped forward, the Senate laughed. "A solitary human," they mocked. "Your species barely travels beyond its own star. What could you possibly offer?" Elara's heart thundered, but she remembered the words of her grandmother. "When they see you as small, use it. Small things go unnoticed, and unnoticed things can change the world." She bowed slightly, then began. Not with demands, not with anger, but with a story. Elara told the tale of Earth's earliest explorers, of wooden ships crossing storm-ravaged oceans, of fragile lives carried by courage alone. She spoke of how humanity had survived, not because of strength, but because of imagination, the ability to dream beyond limits. The Senate shifted uneasily. Some dismissed her words as romantic nonsense. Others, however, listened. For in her voice was something dangerous, conviction. Then came the moment the Archeans thought would end her. An overseer interrupted. "Human, your words are irrelevant. You lack standing. Your colony is ours." Elara smiled. "No, it isn't, because you made a mistake." The Senate fell silent. She raised her hand, revealing a small sphere no larger than a pearl. "This contains a complete record of your annexation order, and embedded in it is the clause you overlooked." The Archeans leaned forward. Elara continued. "Your law states that if even one voice challenges an annexation within 30 cycles, the decision is suspended until a full investigation is complete, and I, alone, am that voice." The chamber erupted. The Archeans had crafted their empire on laws so old even they forgot half of them. But humans, curious, obsessive humans, had studied every word. In a single sentence, Elara had undone the conquest of Lyran IV. The Archeans were furious, but fury alone could not override their own laws. She had found the crack in their empire's armor, arrogance. Yet Elara knew this was only the beginning. The Archeans would find ways to silence her, erase her, bury her in bureaucracy. She needed more than a legal loophole. She needed a strategy that no fleet, no archive, no emperor could predict. And she found it in what humans did best, asymmetry. While the Empire thought in terms of fleets and planets, Elara thought in terms of whispers, stories, and symbols. She became a ghost in the Empire's networks, leaking truths the Archaeans buried, reminding forgotten species of their stolen voices. She turned the Empire's strength, its reliance on ancient order, into its greatest weakness. World by world, system by system, sparks of dissent began to ignite. The Empire didn't fear human weapons. They feared human ideas. Her final move came in the heart of the Empire itself, the Core Assembly. The Assembly was a living machine, a vast intelligence woven from the thoughts of 1 billion citizens. It had overseen law and order since the Empire's birth. The Archaeans trusted it completely. Elara infiltrated it, not with firewalls or weapons, but with a story. She fed into its memory banks the history of Earth, not just wars and empires, but music, poetry, art, the raw ache of human love and loss. And then at the end, she asked the machine one question. If laws are meant to preserve life, what happens when those laws silence it instead? The Assembly paused. For the first time in millennia, it hesitated, and when it spoke, it declared, "Annexation order invalid. Proceed with liberation." The Empire erupted into chaos. Systems broke free. The Archaeans, once unquestioned, now faced the impossible. An empire unraveling, not from fleets or armies, but from a single human voice. Elara Vey never claimed victory for herself. When asked how she defeated the Archaeans, she said, "I didn't. They defeated themselves. I just reminded them they could bleed." Humanity was never the strongest, never the oldest, never the grandest among the stars. But because of her, the galaxy learned the truth. Never underestimate the smallest voice. And so, history remembers the day a single human outwitted an empire built on stars. If you believe in stories where courage, wit, and hope can defy even the impossible, then stay with us. More journeys among the stars are waiting. Like, share, and subscribe, because the next voice that changes the galaxy could be yours.